Hello everyone, it's the 6th day, and this is probably the last video of these guys I'm going to make, because I have some plans. So here's the 16 eggs. They're absolutely gorgeous. They really chewed up all the flies I gave them yesterday, so they've got good appetites. They're growing fast. Still lively, still handsome. See if we can get this focused at 40x. But there's too many of them. I've got to break these guys up. So my plan is to move these into tubes today. I'm not going to break them up individually, but I'm going to bust up the family and put small numbers of spiders in individual tubes and allow them to build their webs in there. And I'll show you why I think I should do that in just a moment. As I mentioned before, I've got several of these tubes where we've got hatchlings swarming in there. This one is also, I'm worried, is also a little too crowded. In this one you can see that they're all occupying these webs all over the place. There's the remains of the egg sac right there. As I rotate, you can see they're all suspended in 3 dimensions. So here, let me just pop the top off this. If we look down on it, let's see if we can focus. So we're looking down this tube, and there is this 3-dimensional meshwork of spider webs everywhere, which is kind of cool, because when I drop flies in here, they go tumbling down and they'll get snagged on a web somewhere down on their way down. So I'm kind of reluctant to disrupt this structure very much, because one thing you learn really quickly about these spiders is that their environment is the web. And why should I bust up their environment every time I want to clean up their tubes? So my plan is for today to take the spiders you've been looking at all this time, and I'm going to move like half a dozen or so at a time into their very own tube and let them reconstruct their webs in there and see how well they do. As it is, I'm going to pile up a whole bunch of tubes pretty quickly, I can tell. Anyway, if you spider experts out there have suggestions, if you've got better nursing habits that I could be practicing to raise these guys, let me know. But as it is, I'm about to go start shuffling spiders around. Oh boy, talk to you later. Okay, that was fairly easy. You didn't see me. I was off screen doing this stuff. But what I just did is used a small paintbrush, and I went over the petri dish, and basically instead of grabbing the spiders, I grabbed the cobweb that they were on and tore off a little piece of that and plunked it into a vial. So I set up 4 vials, so I've divided the population into about a quarter, very roughly, and threw them in there. And look, they seem to be just fine with this. See the little dots all over the place? First thing they start doing is scrambling about trying to reconstruct their cobweb, so that's what they're doing right now. Very interestingly, when I opened up the petri dish and started moving them around, I figured I'll start with the lid first because there seems to be a lot there. And I grabbed a bunch of them off the lid on with the cobweb. And then what I discovered is when I went to the bottom of the petri dish, over here, there were almost no spiders in there. They were all up high in the lid of the petri dish. All those dark dots in there, those are the dead corpses of flies that they ate. So they've been doing a pretty good number on them. So now what I need to do is take these guys, give them some more flies, let them chew on those, I think in a couple days what I will do is subdivide each of these tubes once again. So gradually reduce the population in each vial. And make sure they got plenty of web to live on while they're doing it. Okay, now it's feeding time. Well, feeding was quick. I just dumped a couple of flies in each of those vials. One surprise is that in the few minutes it took to transfer the flies and everything, the baby spiders had already spun webs, attaching those foam plugs to whatever bit of webbing I'd included in the transfer. So they're hard at work. I don't know where they get the energy, but they're pooping out lots of webs all over the place. One other thing I'll mention is that my transfer technique is flawless, and a few of the spiders escaped. Uh-oh, you say. No, I say that's great. I'm just hoping maybe I'll get a mass of spiders thriving here in the lab up in the corners and cobwebs, and that will be another source of spiders to work with. I don't know what my colleagues will think of that, but no, you gotta love spiders, right? Okay, so I'm gonna put these guys away and go home. Talk to you later.